The world as we know it today and moving forward will never be the same as in pre-pandemic times. If your business strategies have not yet been updated to reflect these changes that we've all gone through, then it's just a matter of time before your business becomes obsolete. Today's show is going to talk all about how you can begin to make that pivot away from things that aren't going to be the same towards things that are going to get better and better for those that embrace them. Enjoy. Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddart. We are now living in a digital world. There's no doubt about it. And if you have not yet transitioned your business, my fear for your business is it's going to become obsolete. Today's guest is going to talk about how he's successfully transitioned to a digital strategy. You're going to be able to learn from him. I want to remind you that we take snippets of each one of these shows and we put them inside the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook. If you're not yet a member there, you're missing out. Join us there. Join the mastermind that group is and allow it to help you to think bigger. Today's guest, Javier Vidana, out of the Phoenix, Arizona market. Been in business for 8 years, and he's transitioned almost entirely to a digital marketing strategy. He's having great success with it. He comes highly recommended from a dear friend of mine down in Arizona, Shelby Lehman. It's such a pleasure to have you here. Javier, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Justin. I'm looking forward to this for a while now.
Likewise. When Shelby recommends somebody, I'm always impressed, and it just goes to show what a quality individual she is. And she's top notch. So let's talk a little bit about you. Before I get into the business of business, I want to talk about some things outside of life. I think all of us are in the real estate industry because we actually want it to fund a life that we have outside of business, right? I think if we only have a business life, we've probably missed out on maybe what life could be about. I know you're married with 2 children. We're kind of living in a different world now. I'd imagine you're probably seeing more of your children potentially. I know your kids are pretty young, but I want to ask you this question. What's your favorite part about being a dad?
Great question. Probably the same answer every dad gives you. Just seeing the little growth every day, and then looking back and seeing older photos of a year, 2 years ago, and just seeing all the progress and growth and the lessons they learn along the way. And it's just seeing the little growth that happens physically, mentally, spiritually is really probably the most rewarding part of it.
That's cool. I would have to agree with you that there's something magical when you see life through the eyes of a child. You kind of look at it differently, and you see them growing. I think it's one of those magical things of life that if you don't have kids, you don't quite get it. You're like, why are people talking about the kids all the time? Once you have them, you realize that it's kind of the real joy of life, at least from my perspective. For sure.
My 6-year-old has been in T-ball for 3 years and has been terrible at it. Don't tell him this, but for some reason this year it just clicked, and he's throwing the ball. He's hitting it harder. He's one of the best players in his team now. And it's just like, oh gosh, it took a lot of years of experience. And now I bet the other parents think, oh, well, he's just good. But it's seeing that growth and teaching them and giving them the opportunities you didn't have to kind of give them a leg up and then not only just T-ball, but the world. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to the teenage years. That's for sure.
I don't think they always have to be as bad as maybe some say, but I think it's worth preparing for nonetheless, at least preparing them for it. Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk, Javier, about your business, right? For the past 8 years, you've been in real estate. You got started at a young age, right? Age of 19. For those that are mathematicians, you just figured out how old Javier is. Didn't mean to disclose that, Javier, on air, but you look
27,
good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about kind of what your business looked like up until about a year ago. How did you go about getting most of your business?
Well, I would say 3 years ago when there was a shift, but before that, I mean, I hopped around to different teams. The first 2-3 years of my real estate life, I was really, really below average. Maybe did about 10 a year. My wife primarily supported me, played video games all day, really was unmotivated. After that, I got my stuff together and I joined a high producing team, and that was my college. Did a lot of transactions, was forced to do prospecting 3 to 5 hours a day, cold call scripts and all this fun stuff. 2 years later, I got fired from that team because I was very individualistic, right? I always wanted to do my own thing, and then I wasn't really a team player. So they said, bye-bye, which is funny now because they're one of my, I consider them dear friends and mentors now. But at the time, they gave me the boot. And since then, I've been on my own. First year or two on my own, all open houses, man. Just pure open houses, pure hustle, pure giving cards out, going to parties and pretending I'm this extrovert when I'm not. Just just pure hustle. I know it sounds like such an overplayed word, but it was. And I did maybe at most 20, 22, 23. It all changed for me when my daughter was born, who's now 3.5-ish. She was born, and I had to take time off to help my wife. I know it took 2 or 3 months off, and it was just sucked really bad that when I came back to work, there was no leads. There was nothing for me. I just started at zero again. I burned through all my savings, and I'm just like, I have to go out there and kill myself every weekend in this heat and beg for people's business when they come through the door. I have to kiss the butt the right way or say the right things so they want to work with you. And it really felt like I was picking up the scraps. Like, I know it's, if I happen to have somebody who weren't happy with their agent, then I would help them, right? So at that time, I had already started YouTube channels, and I failed many of them. I tried to do like vlogging channels. I tried to do real estate podcasts. I tried to do all these things, but it just didn't work. And it was just the right time in my life where I was already experienced. I can talk real estate without looking at a script. I was kind of salty about the business, and I was tired of seeing these Facebook ads popping up everywhere where it would lead to a boomtown website where, you advertise a beautiful house for a low down payment and you get hundreds of leads from it. And just all that salt led up to a video where I would just tell people how it is. This is how the real cost of buying a house. And I just break it down for them. And for some reason, it just the right tone. It was the right message people wanted to hear. I released that video. I think it was November, October. I did 1 or 2 videos. I got no views again, and I said, "Man, forget this. I give up." I come back January 1st the following year, and I already have like 100 subscribers and like 1,000 views. And I'm just thinking, what's going on?
From one video.
Gosh, from one video. I had no idea what was going on, but it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to keep this going. So I started making a video a week at that point, and I was terrible at it. I deleted a lot of those older ones, but it was just bad audio, bad video quality. But I just started, video after video after video. Next thing you know, I have 1,000 subscribers. Next thing I know, I get somebody that calls me and says, "Hey, I found your YouTube videos. Can you help me?" And I said, "Sure." And I told myself, that's never going to happen again, so I better enjoy it. Next thing I know, it's a person every 3 months. Next thing I know, it's a person a month. Next thing I know, it's 5 to 10 people a month. So now I'm at the point in my business where I got too much business, where I think you probably interview top agents where they get to the point where once you have too much business and you don't have the right staff or you don't have any team, you start losing your quality. You start, endangering your reputation because everybody wants to work with you, but you can only work with a certain amount of people. So that's been my year for me. It's been a year of growth. Last year, I did about 43, 45 transactions on my own, purely on my own. But the worst part is I probably would have been able to do 60 or 70 if I just hired a buyer's agent or if I did the right steps. So I'm not proud of that number. It's a great number, sure, but it's definitely a lot of room for improvement and growth.
It's a powerful story because I think there's a lot of people that find themselves in your exact spot, Javier, where their business really came from kind of hand-to-hand combat, right? Where it was knocking doors, whether it was open houses, whether it was networking events. That's just how they went about getting business. Fast forward to the year 2020, and all of those things are on the table or deeply altered, right? You've got to take 100%. Totally different steps, and people in general aren't going out as much as they used to, and they're leveraging more the power of the internet. At what point did you go all in on it? Was it 2020 where it was like you were kind of forced to, or do you feel like you'd kind of already gone all in on a digital strategy prior to that?
Man, I was very fortunate that I started getting success years before this, because I know there's people trying to hop on the train now, but I was very fortunate to I think I went all in as soon as I had like 100 subscribers, and I said, oh my gosh, this. And at the time, I didn't know what happened. I now understand the algorithm, and I know what happened, and I'm happy to explain that. But as soon as I saw some success, I went all in, and I started making videos a week. And it would get certain times where I would miss a week here and there because I would get so busy with real estate. So I wouldn't say since then. Once I became once I got my ad revenue approved, once I became a partner, that's probably where I got even more serious, where I didn't miss a week. Because it literally now get an income from ad revenue on YouTube. And my eventual goal is to get to the point where that ad revenue doubles what I make in real estate. That way I don't have to sell houses. So the people that come to me, I can pass them on to my team and not have to worry about losing a percentage because everybody wants to work with me and talk to me. Well, I know I will lose people when I say, hey, we'll talk to my agent. So if I can, leverage those losses with the gains I'm getting from the ad revenue, then I'll be a happy guy. I'm probably about a year and a half away from that.
Talk to us a little bit about that YouTube strategy. I know you stream live. Do you stream live, or you just actually pre-record and post to
Oh,
YouTube?
no. Yeah. So about, I'm going to say 2 months ago, I started live streaming exclusively. So for those that don't know, like, are you okay, Justin?
I'm good. Yep.
Okay. Um, the people have heard of Twitch, of YouTube Live, and people think it's gamers and younger people that do that. But I saw an opportunity where I can do a live stream for and answer any questions I had live. And I invested in. If you look at Twitch.tv, you're going to notice a lot of gamers that have really good setups. They have a nice camera, like this. What you see here is my setup for live. I have a chat scrolling here. I have, if somebody follows or subscribes or donates, it pops up as an alert. So it's a full live stream, and nobody's ever done it as a real estate educational thing. So I just stole what the YouTube community, what the Twitch live stream community is doing on gaming, and I brought it to the real estate space. So now 2 or 3 times a week, I hop on and I answer questions live for people. And if they happen to donate, if they happen to become subscribers on Twitch, which means they pay $5 a month just to be part of the community. I have about 20 or 30 people now that are doing that. I get donations, and it's just like, what people don't understand is they look at video marketing or digital content strategy, like you're saying, as one like bucket. But if you really think about it, is that an alarm? Does that mean I talk too much?
Oh, we're good.
If you really,
just right. I was actually
once you step into that bucket, you notice that there's much more streams coming from it. So, like now I have the live streaming. I have that revenue. I have affiliates from for different companies and whatnot. I have the leads that come in from YouTube. Obviously, I have the ad revenue. There's just so many streams that it's much bigger. For lack of a better word, it's much bigger than the real estate is. To be quite honest with you. And that's when it really opened my brain to thinking, holy crap, real estate is just a little step in this.
Do you only do live stream videos to YouTube, or do you do any?
Oh, no. So I do 2 videos a week on YouTube, and I do 2 live streams on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So about 4 pieces of content a week.
What's the technology you use? What's the technology you use to stream to both of them?
Oh, I use Streamlabs OBS, or you can use OBS, which is what the gamers use for Twitch. That's what I use to live stream. I have my really nice camera that I use for my videos attached to a capture card. I have a Rode NT, what's it called? Shure SM7B, which is probably like the Joe Rogan microphone. So, but please understand, this has been already 3-4 years of doing this. So I've invested my money back into it. You don't need to start with this nice equipment.
So 2 videos a week plus 2 live streams to YouTube, and so really 4 videos a week. And that's created this following, a paid following, people that pay you to follow.
Yeah, no. So I only started the live streaming about 2 months ago, but so the live streaming, it's the subscription model is just for it's hard to explain. When you're in a live stream and somebody follows you or subscribes to you, they pop up and it's cool. Oh, thank you, Justin, for becoming a subscriber. But when someone that becomes a subscriber on Twitch or a member on YouTube, it's a much bigger thing where, they agree to pay $5 a month to become part of your little community. They get access to emojis, custom emojis. They get a little badge next to their name. And it's a much bigger fanfare. Oh, thank you so much. So now, $5 a month is nothing, but if you get thousands of people that do that, and they don't really get nothing much of benefit, they just feel like they're part of your inner circle. I also have a Discord channel a Discord server where they join and be part of my community. And if they happen to be subscribers or members on YouTube, they get access to my exclusive inner circle where I get to talk to them a little more. So it's just different layers here. And it's not a lot right now, but I know over time, once you get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 subscribers, that's another completely different ad revenue there.
Yeah. It's super powerful what you've done, right? You've taken real estate, taken your expertise there, and you've really, leveraged the power of these communities.
Yeah.
Right? YouTube in particular, Twitch in particular, and you've allowed yourself to not only get exposure for your real estate business, but now you've created additional revenue streams. And I think anybody who's a sound business person realizes the importance of having multiple revenue streams, right? In real estate, oftentimes it's thought as if the only revenue streams, without doing an entirely different business on the side, is to have maybe an investment portfolio where passive income's coming in. And what you're creating now is passive income coming in from your actual digital media strategies that are also fueling your business. You're doing one activity and you're fueling 2 revenue streams or multiple revenue streams, more than just 2.
And just so people know, it took me about 1 year or 2 years worth of videos to get to this point, right? So I didn't start really expanding until I had 20 or 30,000 subscribers. So I don't think it's like, maybe if I would have started immediately, it would have been much better, but it was definitely something that you grew up. You don't, what I did wrong, to be honest with you, Justin, is once I got like 100 or a few hundred subscribers, I thought I was hot stuff, right? So I started doing YouTube classes and I started being the man, but I really, I got ahead of myself there, right? So there's work to be done first, then you can start looking at different avenues, if that makes sense. I'm trying to find you. I'm live right now, right? So I can find you, so I can see the chat, see if they have any questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Live on Facebook.
Okay, I see it.
So let's talk a little bit about your kind of your real estate business, right? Because I think there's some people out there that want a digital strategy that maybe just want to benefit their real estate business. This whole concept of having other revenue streams come in from YouTube is foreign to them. It's probably foreign to most, right? And maybe they want to entertain that at some point. But to allow people to properly transition to a digital business, what advice would you have for somebody who maybe is just getting started with kind of YouTube videos, or just getting started with streaming live to YouTube? Is there some bits of advice, kind of steps that you would offer to them that would allow them to start getting leads into their real estate business?
I would say you need to ask yourself there's the first thing you need to ask yourself the question: are you going to go for the local approach or the national approach? There's a lot of realtors out there that do the local approach. They start making videos about their cities, their towns, best places to eat at certain city, why you should move to this city, et cetera, et cetera. If you go down this route, you're going to set yourself up for a better real estate business, but a not so great YouTube business. There's people out there that are absolutely killing it. One that comes to mind is a guy out of Austin, Texas. I have to remember his name. I'll mention him as soon as I remember it. Who's doing just real estate content for Austin, Texas. He has like 1,000 subscribers, but he's doing 10 to 15 deals a month, because it's the quality of, not to say quality as in the people that are looking at are not quality, but someone who's watching his videos are more likely to be thinking about moving to Austin. Therefore, it's a higher conversion, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can go the national approach like I did, who makes general real estate advice. But it has more, it has more of a national audience, but not so much of an actual real estate one. So out of the, let's say I get 400,000 views a month, maybe a little bit of them are actually in Phoenix and actually reach out to me and become my client, right? So that you need to figure out which approach to take. Once you figure that approach, I want to say this 100%. If you're doing this to create leads on business, you're going to fail, because YouTube audience will smell right through you. If they're smarter than your average audience. If they can smell that commission breath, they're going to click away in that video faster than they clicked in it. So you need to be providing value to people. And if you don't know what that value is, you need to start really doing a deep dive into you and say, what can I give people value that's already not on the platform? Once you figure that out, then it's just titles, it's thumbnails, it's, who's your competition. Basically, once you figure out the algorithm, you start understanding a little bit of it, you just do the right things to help you, which honestly, a Google search or a few hours of YouTubing will probably give you the answers to that. The algorithm, whatnot, and all that.
Really makes it reachable, attainable for people, right? Where it's, yes, you've learned this over a couple of years, and of course, people will get better as they do it, but it's really could be as few as following you on YouTube, saying, what are you doing? And searching out like how to generate real estate business from YouTube. I've got some friends that have courses on this and are expanding around the country. So I know I know you're not the only one that's having success with it, which should tell people that it's not just because Javier's a cool guy. I promise I promise you I'd get that in.
Justin sent me a questionnaire of like 10 questions and really deep questions. And I was like, what are the 3 things people want to know about you? And I said, I'm cool, I'm cool, and I'm cool. And then I would just keep saying I'm cool, because I didn't want to like, we'll just talk about it. So I thought I don't know if you were going to be upset by that or happy with that. I'm glad you're more positive about it.
No, now that I know what a humble guy you are, I love it. Had that actually been your MO, I might have been a little more concerned. But again, what that tells people is that really it is about the YouTube algorithm. It's not the fact that Javier's this Hollywood celebrity magician. He's the only one that can do it. No, it's really, there's people searching for things on YouTube, and you just simply have to meet their demand with your supply, right? Offering the videos that people want in a way that's, appealing both to the ear, the audio, as well as the video. And
Yep.
you know,
And it's, you shouldn't be intimidated by, there's a lot of people doing it right. When I started, there was two main real estate YouTubers. Well, there's me, Kevin, and Graham Stephan, which are the daddies, right? They're the ones that they're already YouTubers first, not really realtors anymore. But there was two main realtors that were doing it that had way more subscribers than me. So when I started making videos, the way the algorithm works is if you make identical videos to certain people, these people are already getting an audience, and if you do the right things, your videos are going to get suggested. And if you do the right things, your thumbnail and title, they will then click through. So then you're kind of you're mooching off their audience a little bit. But that's how you grow. This is organic growth. I didn't pay a single dime for my growth. It's all been organic. So now that there's a lot more people doing it now. Like there's a guy out of Win the House You Love, who just started like a year or 2 years ago, but has growth. He's almost like half of my subscribers now. He's grown really fast. And I guarantee, I mean, he makes great videos, but part of the reason why he's growing faster is because there's more bigger real estate YouTubers. So there's a bigger audience. So it's easier for him to get recommended. And now, not only him, and he's going to catch up to you soon, I'm assuming, but for the next generation of people that come in, there's so much more real estate YouTubers that the algorithm is going to be happy to promote your channel as well. So it's not like a scarcity thing. There's plenty of room. And it was a little more difficult for those two people before me. It was for me, and then now for you, it gets a little less difficult after that. You just have to do the right things, to be honest with you.
you know, I love that you said that, because it really is an abundant mentality, right? Is that the more people you get involved in doing real estate videos, actually the better it is for everybody, right? And I think as the world starts to transition more and more to this digital, these digital platforms, right? Away from open houses. I don't know that, I believe that the pandemic has simply sped us up 5 years. I don't know that we're going to go back ever to what we were before as far as people searching for homes via open houses. I think that will be an option, but it won't be as popular as it once was. That's my humble opinion. I also think that this has taught people how fast they can move through the marketplace, how fast they can have conversations and build relationships, get to the homes and the knowledge that they need without spending commute time to go and get that information. And I think,
and it's really easy right now. I mean, the buying market's hard. It's difficult to get your offer accepted, but if you think about it, it's not so difficult. What's going to happen when the industry shifts, and it's going to get more difficult for sellers to sell, and there's going to be more buyers that are nervous to buy because the interest rates are higher, but it's going to be more difficult, right? So who's going to really get the majority of the business when the market shifts? It's the people that are giving value. If you're doing open houses and that's the only value you give, you'll get lucky a few times, but you're not going to really have a lot of growth unless you start getting other people to do open houses for you. So sorry, it's the oat milk. There's a good question from someone on Facebook, from Andrew Paulson. Should we answer that, or do we wait?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Justin, keep up the great interviews. Javier, I love your story. Question: do you take small pieces of content and put them on other platforms, or funnel people to your YouTube? That's a wonderful question, because the number one mistake most realtors make on any piece of content is they promote it on other social media. So you have to know that the YouTube algorithm is very particular, and it's very aware of who's watching your video. So let's say I'm Joe Schmo from Denver, Colorado. I make a video about the importance of, or 10 things to know about moving to Denver. And I decided to post it on my Facebook group. I decided to put it on my Instagram, my Twitter. So my uncle, my aunt, and my grandma will watch it to support me. My friends will watch it to support me. And I'll get 100 views, but I'll be like, yay. What you just did is the algorithm is not going to say, oh, so people in their 50s and 60s in Denver watched it for the minute or two and then they clicked away. Let me push it to other people like that. And what's going to happen is it's going to push it to other people like that. And then those other people are not going to watch your video. And you're basically shooting yourself in the foot, because your average view duration is going to be a lot less, because these people are not going to watch the whole video. They're going to click it and then they're going to leave. And on top of that, YouTube's going to see that those people are watching it and promote it to people like that, when the reality is you don't want those people to watch your videos. You want people looking to buy in Denver to watch those videos, right? So maybe if your social media is filled with people looking to buy in Denver, which I really doubt, because you probably wouldn't be doing YouTube. You can just literally message everyone saying, hey, you're ready to buy. So I can do it now because my Instagram audience has grown because they're my subscribers. I used to have like 500, now I have like 2,500 followers on Instagram. And it's all been, people on YouTube. So if I post a story on my Instagram promoting my video, it's okay for me, because those are the people I want watching my video. But while you're growing your channel, as you look back in my history, I never advertised my channel. You should not be advertising your channel whatsoever. You're killing your algorithm. Let YouTube do its thing. Let YouTube do its thing. It'll eventually tie it with the right video of someone else is doing videos in Denver that are doing way better. And then someone's going to watch their video, and then they're going to see your video suggested. They're going to click it. Now the algorithm's learning, oh, this is the people that want to watch your video. Let me put in more people like that. And next thing you know, you get more people that are moving to Denver that are watching your videos. So do not unequivocally put it anywhere else. And maybe once you grow in a little following, you can, but while you're growing, no.
What about when it comes to like your Facebook following? I mean, I think you probably answered that to some degree, but would you agree also don't put URLs to your YouTube channel? You're saying again,
no, don't even mention your YouTube channel. I have a close friend of mine that I just met yesterday for a listing appointment. And I was like, oh yeah, because of YouTube, this, that, the other. He's like, what do you mean because of YouTube? And I was like, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. And it was so humbling because he had no idea. He was like, you have a YouTube channel? I'm like, yeah, Luis, it's literally the reason why I've like, yeah, it was just so like, yeah, I do. So that's what you want. I mean, you want the only people that should be watching your videos are more people that you want to be watching your videos. You don't want your grandma to watch your videos. You're not looking for elderly women in the retirement community unless you're making videos for those kind of group, right? So you have to treat your YouTube like your baby. You want to make sure you look at your analytics, you look at who's watching them, you're making sure you identify. And if you already started, there's these Facebook groups out there that say, hey, post your video here, and then we'll all go into the comment section and like it, and we'll trick the algorithm to make you think it's popular. No, you're not. You're ruining your channel by doing that.
Interesting, because you're getting people who aren't actually your ideal customers to like and subscribe,
Exactly.
which is, as opposed to getting the people that YouTube will identify, you should like and subscribe.
Yep. 100. I'd rather have 100 people that are in my audience that actually like my content, that want to see it, rather than 1,000 of my friends, because they're not going to watch it. YouTube's not going to push it. Your channel's going to not grow.
Let Facebook be Facebook. Let YouTube be YouTube. It's great stuff. We've got a question here, Cheryl Draney, about want to know the algorithm. Obviously, that's
oh man, I can spend the next 10 hours talking about that. What's I need to know more specifically about the algorithm. Yeah, it's just like, it's something that we attempt to understand, and we think we understand it, but then it completely shifts. It's an AI. For those that don't know, it's an AI whose only job is to keep people on YouTube longer. If you've watched The Social Dilemma, I watched that not only as a holy crap, I need to stop getting off social media, but okay, I need to start working this a little better for my YouTube channel, because that's all it's doing. The AI is trying to keep people on the YouTube longer so they can throw more ads at them. And if you figure out the right way to do that, then the algorithm will like you and keep promoting you to other channels. So it's an AI, and how you do that is it's so laundry list of things from this point on. But yeah, that's basically how it works. And you just have to figure out the tricks to keep people on the site a little longer.
I think that's probably a great answer to Cheryl's question when she says, what are the basics if you're just getting started? Yeah. It's what would keep people on here longer, right? What would keep people engaged? What would get people value to start watching and not flip to another website and or another channel, but to stay engaged with you? How do you do that? It's great.
You have to get people to click your video, which means you have to have a great title and thumbnail, which comes with practice and observation, studying your competition, you're reconning them, researching them, doing all of that. Then once you figure out how to do titles and thumbnails, your next step is how do you get people to stick on your video longer, which basically your average view duration. You're trying to get it over 50, 60, 70%. YouTube likes it when you keep your people engaged to your videos. And your next step after that is how do I increase my video per viewer? In essence, video per viewer is how many videos your viewer watches in your channel before they go to another channel. If you can get that over 5, 10, 15, now you're blowing up and you become a YouTube, which I'm not even there yet. I think my average video per viewer is like 2.5 right now. It's slowly growing since I've got coaching, but it's difficult for sure. You're never an expert. Andrew Paulson just asked, how did you find out what people are searching for YouTube and what keywords you use? I expected this question, Justin. It's part of the most common questions I get. And I don't blame realtors, because either they've been told by these YouTube gurus, or just people in the social media world. Nothing with Old Republic, but I know there's a lot of title companies out there that will get somebody with 100 followers on Instagram and go do a social media class. So, and yes, I'm throwing shade. I'm not going to say any names. I will say that that's the most overrated thing you can do for your channel. Keywords do not make your channel. If I show you the percentage of all my viewership, only less than 2% of people find me on search on YouTube. So keywords absolutely do not matter. 100% unequivocally, you're wasting your time researching SEO and keywords and all of that. YouTube, the two main source of traffic on YouTube is your browse and your suggested videos. Browse videos come up in the homepage. When you click YouTube, your video gets thrown on there. Recommended are people when you're watching a video that's similar to yours will pop up on the side, and that's a suggested. If you're focusing your time figuring out the right keywords to search, you're wasting your time because let's say you are able to make a video that's really well searched. You're not going to grow because you're going to become a something people use and then they leave, right? There's no incentive for them to keep watching you. They're going to learn how to, I don't know, whatever resource you want to give, and then they're going to leave you alone. So to answer your question, when the keywords I use, don't waste your time doing that. But spend more time thinking about your title and thumbnail than your keywords.
Great stuff. If people want to go kind of research you, right, look at what you're doing, learn from you, what's your YouTube?
Just Google, just go look on YouTube and Javier Vidana and I'll pop up.
Okay.
Yeah. Or just Google me. I'm sure I stopped giving business cards like 2-3 years ago too, just because just Google me. I'm sure you'll find me.
I love it. Javier, this has been amazing. I really appreciate all the insight that you've given. No doubt you're a big thinker. And I want to end with our signature question, which is this. What does Javier Vidana do to continue to be a big thinker, to continue to expand your possibilities? What does that look like for you?
I think how I do it is not thinking I already understand it, not thinking that I already know everything. I'll be honest with you. About 4 months ago, I thought I was already like, all right, I've already learned everything there is to learn about YouTube. And I got a call from a good friend of mine, Christina Smallhorn, which you should interview next, who has more subscribers than me. She called me a year, 2 years prior with like way less subscribers than me, asking me for advice. And I kind of gave her some advice, but really didn't give her anything good. She got YouTube coaching. She started doing the right things, and she passed me in subscribers. And I found her, and she's doing much more subscribers than me. And I called her and I just said, you have my respect. What did you do? I want to learn. You just humbled me. What do I need to do? I hired a YouTube coach. I hired someone that knows a lot more. And I started realizing I just understood a little drop in the ocean. So as long as I keep myself in that mindset where I always have to learn and I don't know, I'm not the expert in my field, then I will continue to grow and become a big thinker.
What amazing insight, Javier, both on you as a family man, as well as you as a YouTuber, realtor, as well as you as a kind of a big thinker, somebody who wants to continue growing and contributing to others. I mean, that's the whole reason you're here, right? You're not promoting anything. In fact, you're not even inviting us to come to your channel because we're not.
But I don't want you to in my channel. I don't want those viewers. Like, do not go mess up my algorithm. I think I have enough viewers where I think it won't affect me. But I'm just doing this. Shelby's a great friend, and I'm a fan of yours too. So yeah, cool. Anytime you want me back, let me know.
I appreciate it. What a pleasure. And I want to thank you so much for everything you've contributed. And again, I want to thank those that have chimed in to ask questions. It's been fun engaging with you as we go here. And my final requests of everybody listening here today are 3 simple words, and they are go think bigger. Javier, I really appreciate you helping us do that today.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Justin.
You bet. You too.